guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you are new here, hi, my name is Sarah. I make a lot of special effects tutorials, mostly around Halloween, beauty tutorials, as well as a little bit of DIY in between. I'm a little bit late to jumping on this little bandwagon, but for today's video I wanted to show you 3 looks using one palette, which I have done once in the past, I believe, and that was with Colourpop's Yes Please palette, I'm pretty sure. This time it is another Colourpop palette, which is going to be the My Little Pony collaboration collection that they did obviously with My Little Pony. Alright, so the reason I am actually late to this bandwagon is because the day that the collection dropped, I tried to buy as many things as basically that tickled my fancy, but one of the items was actually taken out of my cart even though it was originally in there. I only had it in there for like maybe a minute and a half and then it was taken out, and that was this guy right here, which is called Sunbeam. So I didn't want to do this until I actually got Sunbeam because I wanted to do it with the entire collection as I actually wanted it. Now keep in mind, I do not have the entire collection, but I am happy with the amount that I do have out of this. But yeah, so I will be showing you 3 different looks using this palette. Kind of wide variety of looks actually. One of them is what I'm wearing right now on my eyes, but I'm also going to be showing you guys all the swatches as well as my thoughts on the palette and liquid lipsticks. So if you guys want to know how to do this, plus 2 other looks, and the swatches, and my thoughts on it, then just keep watching. Another thing I thought I would also mention is that I think it was the first 200 orders when this collaboration first dropped on the Colourpop site. If you were one of the first 200 people to place an order, you got one of these guys right here, which is just some really cute stickers that I've been fighting not to use anywhere because I wanted to show you guys. But apart from that, I did get the palette itself, as well as 2 of their lip products. I think there was 4 in all, maybe 5, but I just decided to get Lemon Drop and Dream Castle. So one of these is an ultra glossy lip and the other is an ultra matte lip. And then lastly, as I spoke, I did want to get Sunbeam, and then this one is called Cherry's Jubilee, I believe. So speaking first about the actual packaging itself, look at this, you guys. It is so freaking cute, and you can tell that it is very reflective. So when you first look at it, you can't even really see that it says anything right here, but it does say My Little Pony. You can only see it when it hits the light, which I find really cool as is. But it's so cute, little ponies everywhere. Oh, it's so cute. And yes, all of the packages are like that. So opening this guy up. So this is the front. And then you spin it around and it just says My Little Pony again, and then has all of the shade names. So now I'm just going to get into the swatches. Let's do this. The first one is Bluebell, the second is Starshine, then we have Blossom and Butterscotch. Next one down is Flutterby, then we have Minty, Sky Dancer, and Applejack. And for the last row, first is Princess Sparkle, Snuzzle, Firefly, and Twilight. Next up, I'm going to be swatching the Super Shock shadows. The first one is Sunbeam, and the second is Cherry's Jubilee. Look at those sparkle. And the last 2 things that I'm going to be swatching today are the last 2 things that I actually have, which are the lip products. So you will see both of these swatched on my actual lips in the tutorial, but I'm just going to give you a swatch anyways on my arm once again. So that is Lemon Drop, and that is Dream Castle. So Lemon Drop, which is this one right here, it does dry down to a matte finish, and this one is obviously not going to dry down because it is a glossy lip. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm actually going to be putting these both on my lips today just to see how they look together. I'm going to be putting Lemon Drop on, waiting for that to dry down, and then adding Dream Castle over top, just so we can see. Alright, so realistically you probably wouldn't pair this kind of lip with this makeup, but just for shits and giggles, like I said, I did want to put them together. As for my thoughts and opinions on these products, looking into the palette, you definitely get a pretty decent range of colors. You get a white and a black, which are complete opposite ends of the spectrum, obviously. And I found that helped me out in the long run because I used this one mostly to lighten colors as well as to blend it more seamlessly into my skin without having to use a transition color. The black I actually used in one of the tutorials to darken, I think it was this guy right here, to make it definitely more purpley than it was originally. And as well, you do get quite a few matte shades. You get Applejack, Sky Dancer, Flutterby, Bluebell, and Princess Sparkle. And you do get a couple of more sparkly shimmer shades, which is going to be Starshine, Blossom, Minty, and Butterscotch. And lastly, I think these are more considered dual chrome, but you do get two of those, which are just at the bottom right here. Firefly and Snuzzle. Some of these colors do have quite a bit of kickback. I did find with Applejack and Flutterby, I got a decent amount of kickback. Although, surprisingly enough, no fallout, but that's probably because I tap my brush out before I actually use it. I would definitely say that my favorite three shades of this palette are going to be Snuzzle, Firefly, and Twilight, which is those bottom three colors. So that is the palette. Getting onto these Super Shock shadows, these babies right here. So to preface my thoughts on these, I just want to mention again that I didn't end up getting Sunbeam right away. I had to wait until they did their restock, which is actually like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago approximately. So I had to wait for that, which is again why I'm so late to the bandwagon for this video. But I did also receive this a little bit crushed up, and I will insert a picture if I still have it here. Otherwise, you can just see it is quite a bit messy. Although an upside with these Super Shock shadows is that they are super, super creamy. If you guys have ever used their Super Shock shadows, then you know what I'm talking about, but it was actually quite easy to just like press it back together, which is really, really nice because it's like a butter almost. Sunbeam was very, very nice to use, although how I used it in the tutorials, I did just put it over top of it, Cherry's Jubilee. However, Cherry's Jubilee is where things get a little bit on the downside, which is, it's very chalky. I'm not meaning like how normally eyeshadows can be chalky. I just mean it was very, very crumbly when I put it on my eye, and you'll be able to see in the tutorial I kind of got a little bit of a couple chunks in my eyelashes that I had to figure out what to do with in the end. That's going to be really my only complaint about this guy. They're both very, very beautiful colors. And then lastly, my babies. Now when I bought these guys, I didn't know if I was actually going to really like them, as I mean, I'm pretty much in love with Colourpop at this point, so it's kind of a no-brainer that I'm probably going to like a lot of their products. A lavender liquid lipstick, it's not something I thought I would actually give it a go. My teeth tend to come off a little bit yellow on camera, and with anything lavender or anything blue, your teeth definitely start looking even more yellow on camera. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use this, but I ended up really, really liking it, and it lasts a really, really long time. I ended up wearing this for an 8-hour shift at work, and it was still on by the end of the day. It did get a little bit streaky throughout the night as well, but I did have a few drinks and did eat some pretty greasy food, so that would be why that was. But then my secondary one, again, this is Dream Castle. This is beautiful. It is a very, very sticky consistency, but it is an ultra glossy lip, so that makes sense. But I definitely think that this almost reminds me of Dream House. I believe it's called Dream House by Jeffree Star, which is absolutely beautiful. I probably wouldn't go as far as to say it's a dupe for it, especially because Dream House does dry down, whereas this stays as a gloss. It slightly dries down, like it doesn't super move around, but it won't dry down as Dream House would. Like it's on my lips right now, and it definitely transfers. As for the first look I've made, I'm going to be going in with my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk and then blending that in with my fingers. Then using a big fluffy brush and Applejack, I'm blending that into my crease as my first transition color. With a slightly smaller blending brush and Flutterby, I'm using this as my second transition color. And then for my lid, I'm going to be using a dense packing brush with a bit of setting spray along with Minty to put over the middle of my lid. Keeping the inside portion still bare. And then for the inner portion, I'm adding Firefly in the exact same way and then just mirroring the two of them. And then backing up the fluffy brush and Flutterby, I'm going to be bringing that to my bottom lash line. And for yet another little pop of color, I'm coming in with Jeffree Star's Candy Ass and an eyeliner brush from Colourpop and doing a slight wing. Finishing this little look off with some mascara. And some liner to my bottom lash line. This is Posy K, I think that's how you say it, by Kylie Cosmetics. And of the two lip products, I chose Dream Castle for this look. As for the second, again, I'm going to be using my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk as my base and blending it out with my finger. And then with a big fluffy brush and a Flutterby as my transition. Then continuing with a more dense fluffy brush alongside Sky Dancer, more into my crease and to the outer edges, as to create a halo eye, or at least the start of one. Then blending those together to my heart's content and bringing in the Super Shock shadow for this look, specifically Cherry Jubilee at first, with a dense packing brush and again a little bit of spray to help it be the best it can be. I'm putting that into the dead center of my eye, where the space was left open. You'll see here what I mean by it being a little bit crumbly. To put slightly over that, I'm using Sunbeam, but applying this with just my finger. If you've been subscribed to me for a bit, then you know I'm pretty consistent with symmetry on this channel. And what I do to my lid, I tend to do below my lash line. First with an eyeliner or a lash brush, and then blending it out with the actual blending brush. For the eyeliner, though, I'm going to be using one by NYX. I believe this one is Run the World. And topping that off with mascara. Followed by Lemon Drop. And lastly, for a darker, more sultry look, in my opinion, I'm starting out with a big old fluffy brush and applying Applejack. I'm starting to sound like a broken record, I know, but continuing with a little bit of a dense packing brush alongside Sky Dancer, once again into my crease. But to add a base now, I'm going to be using a black jumbo eyeliner. This one can be found at Sally's, or you can just as easily use Black Bean by NYX instead. To add twilight on though, I'm going to be using a dense packing brush and patting it onto my eyelid over that base. It's all about that base, no trouble. Versus dragging. This is going to make it more pigmented than it already is. Then blending out those edges so they aren't as blunt, because this is pretty big difference between what we're putting into the crease versus what I'm putting on the lid. And then with an eyeliner, and shocker here, I'm putting that onto my lower waterline and carrying it down ever so slightly to act as the base for the next step, which is going to be to add to the bottom what I've already done to the top. Again, shocker, shocker, shocker. Topped once and once again with mascara. And then to get a little fancier with this one, I'm adding on some jewels. I actually just got these from Walmart for like $1 or something. You may recognize these specific ones from my Pennywise tutorial. But that is it for this one. But that is it for my thoughts and opinions on this collection. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe just down below. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!